Today, in this awareness creation, we're going to look at what's the difference between story and isness. So the benefits when you get this awareness creation is to allow you to really understand the distinction between story and isness in order to increase your power to act and successfully impact reality. Being able to communicate more effectively and directly, having a greater clarity on what is and which is going to allow you to have better decision making. It will also allow you to be more present, and finally to create a future devoid of excuses and justification. In every event in life, there is a distinction between the story and the isness. Quite simply, isness of something are the facts. It's what really happened. So if you want to take a very simple example, isness is the weather, and story is a weather report. So as you know, the weather report could differ quite a lot from the actual weather. So a weather report can announce sun, then maybe actually the weather will be rain. The weather report can announce storm, and finally it will be a sunny day. So it's a very simple distinction. But your human mind really have a big trend to fall very simply in story, rather than really looking at the reality and considering it. So what we call story, it's all your interpretation, description, justification. Things actually happen or not. And actually your mind really look to give a meaning to everything, which is not at your service. So what we are going to do now is to do a very simple exercise in order to show you how your mind can work very easily in that field of story. So take any random object on your desk, a pen, a cup, your mouse, everything you want. For example, me, I have this bottle. It's a bottle of water. You see, it's even actually water here in French. So if I am in isness, I just say, okay, it's a transparent bottle of water. That's it. No, try to connect to your mind as a child. So, and try to label your object very differently. So for me, I can, okay, it's a bottle of water, but what it could be if I let my imagination go. So it could be a rocket. It could be a boat. It could be a submarine. It can be even be a bottle opener. So do the same things with the object you have right now in your hand, and put the video on hold if needed. So if you are back to me now, you see how it's easy to really get your mind imagining everything about one object. So now keep your object and you do the same exercise, but you have to explain why it's the best object on Earth. What is the best one? So if I do this exercise with my bottle, so the best one because it's transparent and you can see that the water is really clear inside. It's the best bottle because it's really designed to put local water from tap rather than buying water in bottle and generating a lot of CO2 production. It's the best bottle because it's from Geneva. It's my hometown. So it must be really great because in Switzerland, Geneva, we really do a good work. So do the same exercise with the object you have right now in your hands for a while and put the video on hold if needed. So now you are back. You do this little exercise and look how it's easy to just do the contrary. So explain now why the object in your hand are the worst on Earth. Really, the it's a terrible object. So if I do the exercise for my bottle of water, so it's a terrible object because, you know, it's produced in tons and distributed, and you don't know how you recycle it. So yeah, actually, it's greenwashing. Say you want to show how good they are, but they produce tons of plastics. Or yes, it's in plastics. I don't know if there is no microplastic with time which go in my water and I drink it, and it could have a terrible impact on my health. So it's a terrible bottle because it's made by the local company of electricity and water, and they are really supported by the states. So it means that my taxes go to do stupid bottle like that rather than supporting people or providing me good water and good electricity. So do the same exercise with the same object. Just explain for yourself why it's the worst object on Earth. And put the video on hold if needed. So now it's done. You see how it's easy for your brain to really build a lot of story around one object. So it's the same with actually what happened in your life. You are a tendency to overreact, overinterpret, really construct all a story. So these people say that because of that, because they want to influence, because yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know that. You really build something in your mind, and a big story around one thing which happen in reality, you start automatically to build a big story around it, which definitely not serve you. So the invitation with this awareness creation is that if you want to impact reality, you have to make decision in the domain of isness, where really is the reality, not on the domain of story, on what you think people may think and do and if, etc. Really just build what you want to do based on what happened actually in reality, and that's it. Don't overreact, don't overthink. Really be present to what happened currently in the real life. And of course, there is some tips. So the major one is as soon as you start to say but, because, or if you ask someone why, it's actually a sign that you are going either from your side to jump in a story, it's a but or because blah, 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 and you explain all the story. Or if you ask why to someone, you are actually asking him or her to tell his or her story. So if you can be aware on how much you use those three words on a daily basis and try to avoid that, it will be simply bring you more in isness. When you feel stuck, bored, in a routine, when there is a lack of magic, things which are not moving, most likely it's that you are in story. Acknowledge that and try to be back in isness. So from now, during our interaction, if I see that you fall in story, I will just point out and say you, oh, you are in story now. It seems simple, but it's actually a major act of our human mind, which brings you so easily in your story rather than staying focused on what happened in reality. So be aware of that, train yourself, and as soon as you can identify that you jump in story, just say stop and go back to isness. Have a great day, and just stay tuned for the next awareness creation. Bye-bye.